Okay guys, so let's start. I'm recording this. In the last session we have seen the definition of MDM and some other things. Now today we'll try to actually the plan is to start the architecture session, but before we jump ahead into technical details architecture, let's try to understand MDM a bit more, because technical knowledge you can get anywhere, not a big deal, but functional knowledge is something that's important. So let's try to learn a bit on the functional side. Um, so if I have to summarize, then basically I have shown you this picture um, regarding the definition of MDM. So you have seen this picture, John Smith picture. So you're aware of this, and this is what basically MDM is. Integrates this three information, identifies or integrates, and creates the unique version of the truth. That's what MDM is. Okay, and you will see that when that is done, for example, if I log in the database,
Sunil, the session is getting recorded, right?
yeah, it's getting recorded. Thanks for informing. For example, you can see here master data has been created. Whatever data you are seeing here, John, K. Smith, John, and all that. So that process has already been done. We will see how it's done. We'll see that later. But once it is done, then I have only unique data. So you can see I have only unique data, but duplicates can still be tracked in this table. Okay, so this is the duplicate table. Clear? This is the duplicate table. This is your master table. You can always join them to understand that, okay, this customer has three duplicates, or in functional words, this customer has three references, or he's present in three different systems. Okay, so basically the whole concept of MDM will revolve around two tables, this main table and underscore xref tables. There should not be any confusion now. Okay, now since you know this is how it is. Now let's take a business example. Let's take an example of very simple example of a bank. Probably the bank is something that we deal with every day, so you will easily understand. Now let's say in a bank, let's say a bank like Bank of America. Let's take a use case of Bank of America. I cannot speak loud because my voice is still not still there's a problem, but if you can't hear, then you inform me. Okay, fine. Now Bank of America, it's basically, let's say, a bank. Now let's say customer John, so he takes a loan. Let's say he takes a credit card. So he takes a credit card from Bank of America. So what will happen when he takes a credit card? His details will be entered in a database. So that will be like 101 John, and let's say something like HNO 101 Texas, and phone number, let's say this is the phone number. Alright, very simple use case. Now he has taken the credit card in 2014. In 2014, let's say he has taken the credit card. So this was the case. Now because of, and we are now in 2017, so what happened is this customer, because of some problems, some financial problems, he could not pay he has swiped his card for sure, but he could not pay the bills, the credit card dues. Okay, and now he is in the defaulter list, right? Now, of course, like as a natural life cycle, what will happen is the bank will try to contact this customer, definitely, either for recovering or for to help him, maybe they want to contact him. But the problem is this this address and this phone number, this address, it's not valid anymore. So no one is responding. This phone is not working, and this address, no one is living there. Okay, but so you understood the problem that the bank is facing is they can't track this particular customer, right? So you can understand what will happen if the bank is unable to track. They will lose money. They will lose money. Plus, you will see in the end, we'll see the financial loss estimate. We'll see that. But now let's say how MDM comes into picture here. How MDM will help the bank in finding the address and the contact details of the person. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll implement an MDM solution. So let's say the company has decided to go with an MDM solution, and just one second. Okay, fine. Now the company has decided to go with an MDM solution, right? So basically what will happen now? There will be two tables. Party. Let's jump into technical details now. As a technical guy, you should understand this. Now there will be two tables mainly. Other tables will be there, but least important. This is the most important. So what will happen here? Your this this will go. Uh, this is one. Let's say this is the join key. So this is the join key between this and this. So when I have implemented MDM, basically I simply loaded this record. So is this enough? No. What I have to do now is I need to add two, three other source systems. I need to add two, three other source systems into my MDM. Okay. So what can this be, like this two, three systems? It should be a source system that should contain the latest details of John, or details of John, you can say. All right. So I want to integrate one more database that should contain latest details of John, and that can be any other internal banking database, internal bank database, like uh, like your personal loan database, like home loan database, etc. This is one thing that I can do. Let's say that the customer has not taken any banking service from the bank. So he has not taken any personal loan, home loan, nothing. So this is not going to work because there's no data here. Then I need to go beyond my thinking. So what I'll do is I will integrate some external database, like I can do some external bank database, or the credit bureau or the Federal Reserve database or similar databases. I can go with the second solution or both the solutions. Now let's say that the person is not doing any banking transaction or has not done any uh, he's not doing any banking thing at all. He's not using credit, debit card, nothing. Then it's difficult. Second one. Then I'll go with the third thing. Worst case scenario. Normally companies will not go with the third one because normally these two are enough. But let's say if I want to go, then some other external database, like let's say a job portal database. I can make a deal with, let's say, a job portal guys or someone, because normally they will have updated information for some people, not for all of course, but still possibility is there. Or I could go with literally anything that might have customer details. Okay, let's say like a supermarket store DB. Like for example, if the person is not doing any banking transactions, that's okay, but he's still going to eat and live, right? So if he's going to eat and live and do something, then I can catch him. So I need to just find the way to catch him. Okay, and you can think of it, there is no limitation on what can be integrated. Anything can be integrated. And what happens, let's say if I integrate this, let's say I have this guy in personal loan database. The details of the customer is like this. Let's say it's like John K, and this is like Vegas, and this is like, let's say, and in the internet database, sorry, not internet, let's say a job portal database, I will say. In a job portal database, he is in LA. So HNO 102 103, let's say LA, and this is 7777. You understood, right? It's very simple. In credit card database, this is his detail. In personal loan, and in, sorry, one second, let me complete this.
This could be three different persons, isn't it?
Possibly, yes. This can also be three different persons. So our objective is to make sure that if the person is same, then only identify it as a same record. If it's different, then identify it as a different record. Because if these persons are same, and if we have identified them as same, let's say they are different, and we are identifying them as same. So what can happen is you can post the credit card of one person to other, which will be a disaster, or the invoice or the credit card of one person to another's address. Okay, so this is very serious stuff. That's the reason why when we create MDM, we give very strict match rules to make sure that we don't uh, face this issue. Okay, but here the assumption is that it's the same customer, and I will, using my MDM, I will identify that these are same. Of course, there are a lot of other fields. I cannot write that, but there are a lot of other.
What is 101 refers to? Just ID or?
No, this
Basically, it's
is
the same.
okay. Sorry, this is like one or this is just an ID. Like, or let's say if I give in a more proper way, okay. So this is the key in the database. Just the primary key in the database. That's it. Okay. So now I have this information. Now I have already loaded this data. So what I will do now is I am going to load this to data and then I'm going to do the match and merge. Okay, and if you understood the definition properly, you will see that in my party table, finally there will be one record. In my cross reference, there will be three records. So let's say in my cross reference, I've got three records. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. It's like a mess. Okay, so finally this is the scenario, and what will be stored in the base object, that is dependent upon the trust. So based on whatever you have configured, let's say this was your survival value here and this address survives here and the name, let's say this survives here. Okay, so this is my final result once I have successfully implemented an MDM solution. So what I will do now is these two tables, party and party xref, I will publish this to whom? The downstream applications. In this case, I will publish this to the credit card department. Now the credit card department has three things. So they have the credit card database, they have this party table, they have this party cross reference table. Now the credit card, let's see how the credit card department can track this customer. It's very simple now. It's just basic joins. That's it. Let's say I have a question like CRDB means credit card database manager. Let's say manager of CR. They want to track the trustworthy details, or let's say phone number of John. One question. Second question is they want to the find the address of the person in personal loan database. So it's very simple. For the first question, basically I'm looking for this value. I mean the credit card guys, they are looking for this value. How will they get this? It's very simple. See, so all you need to do is you just need to join this database based on this key with this key and you will get this value. It's very simple join. Then using that thing you will join back with this with the key and finally you can fetch this value. That's the answer. That's how you tackle the first question. Second question is similar only but different. Find the address of the person in personal loan database. So I am basically looking for this value. So just this value, right? So it's the same logic now. You go here, join this with this, okay? Then get this value and do a self join to get this value. Simple logic. Okay, and I can fetch that information. So this was a very simple example, but now since you know this example, you have idea, you can understand if MDM is not there, what happens. If MDM is not there, I will not open a bank. That's simple. How is it simple as it is? So it's not possible to operate a bank or a insurance company without a proper MDM in place, because if you do it, probably everyone is going to cheat you. As a bank, everyone is going to cheat the bank, either cheat or many things. The it will go bankrupt. Okay. Yeah.
Sunil, I have a question.
Yeah. Sure.
Uh, when you are getting the address of John, so you are basically doing in the same way, right? For like you are doing for the phone number, you're first joining the credit card to that CR number, getting number one, and going to the MDM, going to the party table to get the address, right?
Yeah, normally the address will be stored in a separate table called as address table. This is just for your simplicity. I have mentioned that this will be stored in party table. Normally it will be stored in address table. It's a separate table,
So,
but it's
no.
basically simple. The way is simple. It doesn't change. You need to join party with address to get this address.
Okay, so
Yeah,
for
Sunil,
the number one, you did not mention equi-join, but for number two, you mentioned equi-join. That's why.
The number one, it is no, both are equijoin based on this key, because I am storing this. I'm going to store this key in my xref table, so I don't need to do anything apart from equijoin, because it's just uh, either equijoin or left outer join, something, but just joins. I don't need to do any fuzzy matching here because the keys
Oh,
are present.
Sunil, I have one question, Sunil.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, party and party X ref tables are by default, when we install MDM, the tables will come.
Yeah, that's a good question that I will answer in a detailed way. First thing is, I told you clearly that by default there is nothing. So by default there is no party, there is no party extra, there is nothing. It's blank configuration that Informatica gives. And normally, for your knowledge, Informatica comes in three versions. Okay, this is the multi-domain, or it is called as MDE. Okay, multi-domain edition. Then there is something called as registry edition. There is a third thing called as MDM cloud. And when you hear about in requirement like Informatica, MDM architect is needed, or let's say developer position, you will see that 95 percentage or 99 percentage of requirements will be on this. So when I say MDM, it's basically I'm meaning Informatica MDM. When I say, basically I'm talking about this. And this is multi-domain, means when you purchase a product, like when you purchase this software, let's say from Informatica, you can configure customer, you can configure product, you can configure employee, you can configure anything. Informatica will not charge you separately, so you can configure thousand of things. They are not going to charge separately. Okay, but in registry edition it is per domain. So it is per domain. So basically, for customer, if you want to purchase, you need to tell Informatica that. So if you go with, when you ask Informatica, they'll tell you, okay, if you want registry, you have to tell us if you want it for customer or product or employee. Can I have both? No. If you want both, go with multi-domain edition. And that's the reason why nowadays everyone is going after multi-domain only, because registry edition is not just about single domain. It is quite limited in scope. Merge is something uh, is doesn't happen here. So this is not actually, this is just for emergency solution. So that is the reason why this is not popular either. Very less people use it, like 1%. And normally Informatica itself, they will configure and give you. This comes with a data model. Clear? Here you will see the party tables. Okay, but here no party, nothing. you need to configure. And MDM cloud is on cloud, MDM on cloud, which is relatively a very new solution. It's quite new. I mean, like just in experimental phases itself, and it supports just Salesforce as of now. They don't have much plugins, just basically Salesforce they are supporting. And yeah, so I hope it's clear. So we'll be studying multi-domain edition because that's what MDM means, multi-domain edition, and that is blank. Yeah.
So when you say the customer product employee, right? The customer 360 is also part of this one, or
That's what
I
I'm saying.
heard.
Customer 360 degree, product 360 degree, employee 360 degree, or anything you can implement. It's a custom solution, so you can customize it for anything. Okay.
What is MDM multi-domain edition and MDM hub?
MDM hub is just a technical tool as a part of this edition. So it's nothing but it's just a tool. So this is your MDM hub. MDM hub, which is this tool. Using this tool, you will implement this multi-domain concept. Okay.
And Sunil, in the previous scenario which you told, the credit card, the personal loan and all. So what I understand is, there must be definitely one unique column for the customer, isn't it? The one, number one, or what you're saying, because
No,
wherever it is that unique.
no, if a unique is there, it's always better, but that's not the case. You won't see you won't like depends upon project to project, but it's very difficult to identify a unique thing across all. It's possible that there is something unique between these two. That's possible. It is possible that there is something unique between these two, a unique identifier, but across all the things, it's not possible. For example, let's say SSN number is present for these two, but it might not be present for this guy. So that's the challenge here in matching, that you don't have unique identifiers. Because if it's that easy, then I would basically use a database. I would not do a fuzzy comparison between John K. Why would I do that?
Okay, yeah.
But it's not like you don't have it. There are some projects which are very small, and you will see there will be unique identifiers. So that makes your life much easier. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Okay, based on MDM, we have created a party table and cost reference table. So how end user access this? Whether we will provide the data to them or through any business intelligence tools, or is this a source for ETL tool? What would be the downstream
Yeah,
system for this?
that we will this thing we'll see. It'll become more clear when once we go through the architecture session. But I'll just quickly summarize the architecture. This is how it goes. Okay. So this is how it target. Okay, or the downstream. So you have ETL between sits between source to MDM and MDM to ETL, like MDM to downstream. So it's basically like using a ETL job, a power center mapping or data stage mapping. You're going to pull this data from MDM to this downstream. Now this is in batch mode, which you guys are, I think you have some idea on batch because every day you work on batch. But in case of real time, it will be slightly different, but I will explain that in the architecture class itself. Now it will be complicated. In real time, this ETL will not be there. There will be some other things. SIF will come into picture. Okay. Now, sorry.
Sunil,
Yeah.
one question. Yeah. What we are doing here, we have the internal and external sources. So we are as integrating all and we are keeping data into the party xrep. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay.
Duplicate.
After that, as we are running the MDM process and we are getting the best match report. Correct?
Right.
Yeah. So why is the downstream is no trust to us, and they are going to again to the party exec table because we are giving to the best record. So they need to trust on that.
Yeah, that is correct. They have they have the best thing that, but why do we need xref thing? We need xref because first of all, the source can join with your data. This key, whatever you're seeing, this key will not be stored here. Okay, this key will always be stored in this xref table because this key is something you cannot master. You can master the name, that's right. You can master the address, that's right. But you can't master keys. It is impossible to master keys. You can't say this key is better, that key is bad. So that is one reason why we have this. Second is, now it's on the credit card team. Like if they want to check some other database, they are independent to do. We are giving them a solution. If they want to use it, they normally they will always go with this. But if they want to check anything, they can always check it. They have that independence.
Yeah, for key purpose, we can write as a, we can create a one column and we can pass that key also, so they can find it from there also.
No, key cannot be stored here. Okay, key you cannot store here. This table is dedicated to data that can be mastered. That is one thing. And second thing is uh, we are storing this data also because let's say this question, whatever I have mentioned here, find the address of the person in personal loan database. So they want to know the most trustworthy, plus they also want to know in the personal loan what is the address.
Okay.
Okay. And talking about why someone will need it, see, business is something like if you give like as much information, if you as you provide, they can do better business. Okay, so data is important. Data is like God in internet. So everything happens with data. Okay, now this is a very simple scenario that you have seen, and you can take it like on a bank. You can use this thing to implement any solution in bank. Everything will be like this only. Now if I talk about an insurance sector, then how does it differ in the insurance sector? In the insurance sector also this pretty much similar. You will see once you are clear with one solution, it's pretty much same. See, it's like this. Let's say one example. Let's say I have John. John has taken an insurance plan. Okay, and let's say John has taken $1 million insurance. $1 million insurance plan. Let's say it's a umbrella plan something. And what happens is John, because of some reason, John meets with an accident and crashes. So John is declared not alive. Okay, so John is gone. Now, what happens to this money now? This $1 million. That depends on two things: developed country and developing country. So if you're in a developing country, then probably your like John's relatives, they have to claim this amount, and it will take somewhere around 5 years, almost like, to get this money if they get it. But in a developed country, it's the company that has to chase the survivor. So the company has to chase the survivor, not the survivor. Okay, the company has to find the survivor in a fixed time, like 3 months to 6 months, and compensate this amount. If they can't do it, they need to pay a very huge penalty to the government. Okay, and you will see there are many uh, things like that. Anyway, for this simple case, you have to integrate like insurance database. Then you have to integrate like the you will get the death file or the database from the government. These two you need to integrate. Okay, and let's say your bank is also running an insurance company, like there are many banks that also have insurance products, so you can also relate your bank MDM with insurance. So you can actually understand that, okay, this guy has like let's say $1 million bank balance, and he has taken, let's say, like this plan. So this can be used for many purposes, can be used for CRM, customer relationship management, which is nothing but the marketing only. It's a good way of like, if I say marketing, people get irritated that okay, this he's trying to market, but when you say CRM, it does the same thing in a polite way. Okay, so this data can be used in CRM for marketing, for to get new customers, can be anything. Let's say if I take a telecom, which we have already seen. Let's say a customer has taken a prepaid service, postpaid service, internet service. Let's say they have other services also, like they are selling phones. Understand, right? Like 5G phones or 6G, 7G phones. They're also selling shoes. Okay, so John has taken these three products, and I would like to uh, uh, sell some some other things to John. So I have two options. I can sell maybe phone or maybe a shoe. What do you think? Which one is better? Definitely it's the phone, because as per the pattern of the data, he's more like a techie. So you can always go with a phone instead of a shoe. Now that was easy because the data was simple. But whatever I told you now, right, verbally, that thing is done by a CRM. In a computer, a CRM is an application which exactly does this, identifies and creates opportunities, discounts, those kind of things. Okay, a CRM will only work properly if you feed MDM data to CRM, then it can create proper decisions. Otherwise, you will end up selling shoes to John, which would be wrong, which will be wrong. One second. Okay, this was a telecom case study, and you can name anything, like you know a particular segment where you have worked, you can name anything. It's MDM will remain the concept same. Now this was moreover like customer MDM, whatever we have discussed now, all these cases, and this is like the 90% of solutions will be customer only, because customer is the ultimate thing. Every company earns money from the customer, so customer is god for a company, right? So but anyway, if you have something like products, let's say you have like you're manufacturing many products, like probably hundreds of 100,000 products, then it gets complicated. I mean, it's very difficult to manage the product to see which category one fits into. For example, see, I will show you a hierarchy, then you will understand. See, this is the hierarchy of a product. uh, you are able to see this because MDM was implemented in this. So this here MDM has been implemented, and just see, I can see the hierarchy of a product. So see here, so I can see that there is a product called as 3D mouse. I don't know what's a 3D mouse, never seen that, but there's something called as a 3D mouse. There's a notebook, there's a SN 3D mouse. Do you see the confusion? There is a SN 3D mouse, there is a SE 3D mouse. All right. Now, if you ask me what is that, I will say I don't know, because actually I don't know what is SN, what is SE. But For the company, it is important to understand that this and this both are part of design control. They are a group called as design control, which comes under mice plus pointers, which comes under all products. This is very similar to, let's say, if I take a very simple example, let's say I have iPhone 7s, let's say, then iPhone that reports to iPhone 7, because in iPhone 7 I can have many 7s, 7e, whatever, dot dot dot. So then I have that reports to iPhone, then that reports to, let's imagine that Apple also has, like they have iPhone, they have Z phones, they have E phones. Okay, so this reports to mobile products. Okay, Apple mobile products, and that reports to Apple all products, because they are also selling Mac, right? So Mac can be, so this is a very simple level hierarchy. So this will help me in understanding, okay, in iPhone 7 I want to see, let's say, uh, I want to know the revenue of the company in iPhone 7. Can I get it using MDM? Can I find out what is the revenue of the whole iPhone in the world using MDM? No, no. The MDM, that's not the purpose of MDM. MDM will help you, but revenue, we don't store it. You understand? There are two things in the world. There is something that you can measure. There is something that you can't measure. Can't measure. Revenue, profit, loss, quantity. So I just write it. Revenue, profit, loss, quantity sold. All these things are called as measures. You can measure it, but can't measurements basically your contact details and your address and your bank account number, for example. You can't add bank account numbers, right? Basically data will consist of these two things. Okay, in MDM we just store this, just this. We don't care about this. That is the key difference between MDM and data warehouse. MDM and data warehouse, that is the key difference. In data warehouse we store this as well as we store this. In MDM we just store this. What about measure? We don't store it. Why don't we store measures? No one can master measures. Can you master measures? Let's try. Let's try to master measures. Let's say that today I purchased $7. Let's say I purchased a product for $7. Then after that I purchased something differently, let's say $9. Then let's say I've done a transaction called as $5. What is my master value? Does it make any sense to say that this is my master value just because this is more? That's not master, that's maximum. Can't be master. So that's why measures don't make any sense here. We don't store measures. Alright, so that should be clear. That's a clear-cut difference between MDM and data warehouse. So what happens is actually MDM will feed data to data warehouse. So data warehouse will use this information to understand, to identify duplicates. Data warehouse will use this to identify duplicates and do the remaining stuff. You will see that the biggest problem data warehouse will face is duplicates. It's not exact duplicates, but identical. Yeah, you have any question?
What would be the solution if your customer says anyway you are implementing MDM, okay, for a single version of truth or golden record? Yeah, you need to see some measure, maybe not all measure, maybe some latest revenue or something. Is that possible?
No, but talking about technical possibility, technically you can do anything, but we don't do it because it is incorrect to store measures. And even if you store measure, it will be stored as a non-measure. For example, I have a column called as number of employees, let's say. Now it looks like a measure, but if I store it in MDM, it's not a measure. It becomes a non-measure because I will store it just for my understanding, not for any calculation.
Yeah, what my question is, for customer, they may not be that much technical, right? So they are getting a single view of customer or whatever. So then they say, with this single view, we need some measure. So have you ever had a situation like that, or?
No, that is what I'm saying. If the customer says it, the customer is wrong because MDM, that's not the purpose of MDM. Technically, if you're asking, you can implement it. It's not a big deal. Technically, implementing is very easy. I mean, you just need to create one additional column. That's it. But it is completely wrong because that's not the purpose of MDM. Because if I start storing transaction values in MDM, what is the difference between MDM and data warehouse? Because that's what the data warehouse does. And I'll be implementing a cross solution. What's the point?
Okay.
Everything in IT has a dedicated purpose. MDM is a central database which is going to help other things. It's not going to help itself. It's going to help others. MDM is not for reporting. Anyway, first thing is MDM is not for reporting. So no customer will have direct access to MDM. You understand? Customers will
Mhm.
not have direct access to MDM. Who will have access? These teams will have access. Data warehouse team will have access to MDM, not customer.
But I haven't, I don't know the details, okay, but I know there are something like IDD dashboards and all of what
IDD
is shown there.
IDD dashboard is basically you can view the customer details. That's all what you can see. Okay, this is what is called as IDD dashboard. You will see just the customer details. That's it. You can query a particular customer, see um, what are the details. You can match them. You can merge them. Okay. Just basically like viewing the data, that's all what it is, nothing more than that. Viewing and doing some, for example, I can view this record and if I want to compare records, that also I can do.
Okay. I read something about user interface extension or something. You can pull something from outside the world and show it here. Is
Yeah.
that going to be measures or?
No, that's not measure. It's basically user interface is nothing but let's say you have google.com. If you want to add a tab like google.com here, you can add it. Or let's say a more proper example, let's say you have Bank of America. Now Bank of America have a customer registration portal. They have a customer registration portal. Now normally when you're checking customers here, you need to every time go to this customer registration portal and check it. Instead you can just integrate that and add it here. That is called as nothing but user extension. You can extend. By default you see stat, task manager, data. You can add your own custom things here, 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 here. That's what it is. But anyway, that's nothing, it's not anything different. It's basically revolves around the same concept only. It's just this data.
So basically in dashboard, just a customer information. Like what you mainly
It's
showing in the
not for
dashboards?
it's not for reporting. It's basically it's not created for any report or something. It's basically created to understand this customer. Okay, these are the details of the customer to see the cross references. So whatever you are seeing in the database, like party table, party xref, we cannot provide access on this table to business because that's technical. So we have this interface where they can see this and they can also match the customers. So for example, if you want to match two customers, you can match it and you can see how it looks like and you can merge it also.
merge in the sense you merge in the front end, it will merge in the back end as well.
This is just a front end tool. So whatever you do it here happens in the back end only.
Okay. No, for example, if your one record is from the, is this both record from the extract table or?
No, this is just the same record. If you want to match, then it will be slightly different. You search it with a, I will show you two possible matches. Okay, this is not a possible match. Okay, you can see here, this record has a potential match, this record with another record. Okay,
Okay.
so I can do those kind of comparisons, and I can, let's say, choose this and I can compare these two records. Compare.
So these two record from base object tables, yeah?
Yeah, base object table.
Okay. Now my earlier question was when you decided to merge those two, so it will be now it is two records in the base object table. Will it become one?
Yes, that's what merge does.
Okay. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah.
There are a lot of things that customization you can do, but basically the purpose is we don't store measures. That's not the point. Okay. Um, yeah, and
Sonia,
yeah,
question. When you talked about how to publish MDM to downstream, did
right.
you say it is by pull or by push, or you could do both?
Uh,
And
you can do
I
both.
still hear that some web services that you can do. What's the
Yeah. So
implication
see,
of
pull,
web services in this?
pull, push, both can be done. Okay. Now talking about interface, in batch interface, both can be done in batch interface. And normally in real-time interface, it is just the push. You are going to push it in real time and they will consume it. In batch, it's just ETL, so you can push, pull, do anything.
Okay, so there are two interfaces, batch interface
Real time.
and real time.
We will see what is batch, what is real time.
Okay.
But batch is something you already know, that I know that everyone knows what is a batch. Real time may be a new concept. Okay, so and you can take other cases also. You can as assignment, what you can do, you take 10 different type of companies and just analyze how MDM can be implemented here. You will see that it can be implemented. So that's the thing. Then what I will do is I will quickly compare these three things, then I will stop the session. um, this is also important because I know that a lot of people are coming from ETL background who are trying to learn this course, and some people are from IDQ, DQ background who are trying to learn this. First of all, I clearly told you there is no dependency. Now, second thing, let's try to understand what is ETL. I'm not going to define it, but ETL is basically extract, transformation, load. So extract, transform, form, load. And to make things simple, if I remove this word, it's basically extract and load. Why would I need a software to extract and load? Why can't I do it in Unix, Perl, Python, or PL SQL? To simplify things, that is one, and heterogeneous source systems. So ETL supports almost like 100 to 100 source systems. Okay, because of that reason, and to simplify things, I will use ETL. But basically it's extract and load. That's all what it does. And sometimes transform, of course. And data quality is nothing but identifies data quality issues, quality, but data quality issues, and corrects it. For example, let's say, one second, I'm going to mute. Okay, so for example, let's say you have phone number as call me plus 9199999. You have given your phone number like this. Now, identifying the data quality issue. What's the issue? This is the issue. I have unnecessary things. Identifying this and correcting that. That's what data quality does. And data quality is something that evolved from ETL only. Earlier, there was no data quality tool 20 years back. It was used in ETL only. Now you have separate tool. But basically, if you compare both the things, let's say if I'm a hungry person, then basically I'm not hungry, but let's say John. So John goes to a hotel. So it's then there's a waiter, or then there's the kitchen. So this is the hotel life cycle. Okay, you have John goes to a hotel, then restaurant, let's say, calls a waiter, then waiter communicates with kitchen. So have you ever seen John in kitchen? He's not allowed. So John will never go to kitchen. So the same thing here also. So you have ETL. So if I talk about ETL, is ETL John, or is ETL waiter, or is ETL kitchen? ETL is basically nothing but waiter. Just processes the data. That's all what it does. ETL is not supposed to store any data. That's not under the jurisdiction of ETL. And data quality also same thing. It's also the waiter. It's just supposed to identify the data, correct it, give it back. You understand? Give it back, not store it with themselves. So basically ETL, IDQ are nothing but waiter. But if I talk about MDM, MDM is basically a kitchen. MDM is not waiter. That is the key difference. So here data is stored and published, and you are responsible for all the things. Okay, that's just the high level difference I've given so that it should be clear. Now point to point, if I compare, then you will see that ETL versus MDM is foolishness, because there is no similarity. They are different. Okay, they're completely different. It is always like this. ETL will come before, sorry, ETL will come before MDM. So normally this is the proper architecture. ETL will help MDM. Talking about it,
Sunil,
yeah, 1 second, let me
Sunil,
complete. 1 second, let me complete. Now DQ, when you have DQ also plays the same role. That is, it comes before MDM and supplies data to MDM. So basically ETL, DQ, they work together. These three softwares, they work together to give a solution. So it's like you have a hand, you have a leg, that makes your body. So you don't say that, okay, my hand does a lot of things, like I can type, I can do a lot of things, but my leg is just stupid, just sits there without doing anything. That's incorrect. So that's why it is always incorrect to compare these three, because they work together. They are not competitors. Yeah, you were asking a question.
hi Sunil, Arun here.
Yeah.
So, so how about IIR, right?
IIR,
What are
what is IIR? IIR is nothing but it's identity resolution. What is identity resolution? It's nothing but identity. It's just identifying the data. That is nothing but the matching part, matching engine. You will see that MDM uses IIR internally. IIR is the main thing that powers MDM, and you will also see that IIR is the thing that powers IDQ as well, up to some level, not extensively, but sorry, IIR. IIR is nothing but the matching engine is called as IIR. Okay.
right? Most of the features in IIR, right? I see them in MDM2, but IIR is like a search engine, right? Um,
IIR is just a raw engine. IIR is nothing but it's the searching engine, or you can say it's the fuzzy. comparison, it's the identity. So John, identifying the customer, identifying things, matching, searching. That's all what it is. It is never used on its own. It's not used as a standalone. It is always used inside some other software, because standalone it's never used. You will see that IIR is something that will also be used in Siebel MDM. In Siebel MDM, they use Informatica IIR to, and this will do the matching part. This does the matching part.
So we can say like MDM is on top of IAR, right?
MDM uses IIR.
As a source.
No, not as a source. MDM, see, IIR is a software which does the matching. MDM comes with IIR, inbuilt IIR. Okay, so you don't have to call it exclusively. When you use matching, it's powered by IIR. Okay, that's it.
Sunil, sorry to interrupt you. Will you cover these things in the classes, this IAR and all those things?
See, IIR is nothing but that's the matching part. You understand, right?
No,
IIR.
my question is that if you are going to cover this, I mean, in the subsequent classes, then is there any point like just defining it now?
No, I got a question, so I'm answering.
Okay.
Okay. So this is
I got another
class
question, yeah?
Class is done. It's just question answers. Okay. Yeah.
Sunil, in terms of architecture, yeah, I used IDQ. Okay. So in IDQ, there are cleansing can be done in IDQ, matching can be done in IDQ, match, merge, consolidation, association. Those all things can be done in IDQ. So then it's just a matter of storing the golden record or single version of truth, right? That can be also done in IDQ. For example, if you do match, merge, consolidation, then write the golden record into a separate table. So in terms of architecture, then why we need to, like, an organization has to spend a lot of money on MDM?
See, IDQ, that's what I said. You see, if you see MDM, if you see IDQ, both use the IIR engine, okay, for the matching. The main conflict arises because DQ has matching abilities, okay, but this is quite limited. The ability of matching in DQ is quite limited, and basically, let's say if I have two files and I just want to find the common customers. Let's say I have this business requirement. I have two files. I just want to find the common customers. Then I'll go with IDQ. I will never go with MDM. But my objective is, let's say, integrate two files and create master data out of it and publish it, store it, consume it. Then I'm talking about an MDM solution. Okay, and technically if I go deeper, then let's say that if I am given an IDQ plus if I have a database like Oracle and some small softwares, then can I implement a MDM solution without purchasing a uh, software, MDM software? Can I implement using these two? I mean, like ETL plus IDQ plus Oracle. Can I do it? Yes, technically I can do that. And I have actually seen projects which have done this. And I've also seen projects failing after 5 years. They've implemented and after 5 years the whole project got failed and they shifted to a uh, proper tool proper tool instead of doing that, because when you create a custom solution you can do it. Like, is it, why can't we use an why do we need an ETL? Why can't we use like TL SQL scripts and TL SQL and or Perl or like Python or dot. Many things are there. I can use that also. Technically, yes, I can do it. But ultimately it comes to performance maintenance. So this thing will have performance plus maintenance issue. Moreover, it's the maintenance, because once the volume increases, there will be issues. Plus, in MDM, we have a lot of things that are ready-made, like the APIs, ready-made things like uh, APIs that helps other things to communicate with MDM, but here you won't see those kind of APIs. You will see APIs, PMCMD, those things, but they don't give you deeper control. Okay, if a guy from a call center application wants to connect to your MDM in real time, then it is almost impossible to do it here. You can do it, but it will be a very clumsy solution. You have to expose it as a web service and maintain. You have to create the custom solution, whereas MDM is a ready-made solution. Click and configure. Okay, so basically, when you have requirement like this, then you go with IDQ. If you want to, if you're serious about creating master data, you don't go to IDQ. You go with MDM and do it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
And gradually, if you know IDQ, I think you know IDQ. So once you go through these options, then you will have a more understanding. Like, so you will see message queues. It's a new concept, publishing. Then anyway, I'll explain this. Then it will be clear later.
Sunil, can you tell me the differences between a data warehouse and MDM?
Data warehouse MDM. That's what I clearly told you, right? Data warehouse. This is where I
Is
compare.
this the only difference between that?
That's the only difference between that, and that's a logical difference. And technically, if you go, then you will see that data warehouse is always like a dimension model, or you can also have a 3NF, but normally dimension model, data marts, those kind of concept. Whereas in MDM, there won't be any dimension model because there is no fact. So how will you create dimension? So this is just basically ER model. And this talks about volumes. So this is always very huge. So you have thousands of tables, but this is quite simple. You at max can have like 30 to 50 tables, not more than that. And that also these data, not fact, not measures. That is the key difference, nothing more than that. Okay. And that's the reason why, see, since I don't have any measures in MDM, can I do a reporting? Can I use a Cognos tool or something to report? It would be really stupid to use a Cognos or a business objects tool to report on MDM because you don't have anything to report. Whereas in data warehouse, you have a lot of things because it's a dimension model. You have quantity sold, those kind of things. So that is a key difference between. Basically, the key difference is if you understood these two, you understood everything.
Okay, thank you.
Sunil,
Yeah.
the dimension tables in the data warehouse, I mean, they can be mastered using MDM, right?
They can be mastered, correct.
Sunil, I have a final question. There is in IDQ, there is I have seen a job description. In IDQ, they are asking IDD experience. How IDQ is related to IDD without using MDM?
No, in IDD you have two things in IDD. You have IDD that is there for IDQ. There is also an IDD that is there for MDM. So
the screen you showed earlier is for MDM, isn't it?
this one is for MDM. IDQ interface is also similar. Sorry, the IDD interface for IDQ is also similar to this. Okay, you will see the interface, same kind of interface, Informatica here. Then the launching page, it's very much similar, but that's for a different purpose. That's nothing but consolidating data there.
That's part of the analyst, right?
No, not, yeah, part of analyst. That's correct.
But is it called IDD?
Yeah, that's IDD. So you will see that's nothing but
Sunil, quick question, Somina here.
yes.
How do we maintain MDM? How do we maintain MDM?
That is what is
At
done
one.
in IDD. So the governance, data governance part, managing, monitoring, that is what IDD does. Informatica Data Director.
Okay. What's IDD? Informatica Data
Director.
Okay, and is in the Informatica MDM. Is a module here in the MDM.
Yeah, it's just a web-based interface. Whatever you're seeing in front of your screen, that's the IDD. That's the second tool. This is the first tool. Hub Console, and this is the second tool. You basically have two tools, and this is where you manage, monitor, govern the data.
Okay, and we're gonna we'll go through that as well as part of this training.
Definitely, because that is a key thing, IDD. Because nowadays, if you are getting a assignment, you will be asked to work on IDD. See, this is the IDD interface. It's a bit similar to that only.
Is it version 10?
I'm not sure which version is this. 951. This is IDD 951, not MDM. This is analyst.
Okay. Is it for like if you talk IDD in IDQ terms actually, is it for like a exception management or those
It's the same thing whatever we do in MDM, like it's just to view the data, monitor it. That's the same thing there as well. Monitor, view, consolidate, understand, merge, those kind of things. The equivalent part of IDD.
Is that coming under human task or something?
Human task is different. Human task is where you talk about human intervention, like approval processes and things like that. But human task can also be managed in IDD.
Okay, I think they changed it in version 9.6 onwards. I think now it's called, I don't know why it's called now, but the screen looks different in recent version, I think, yeah.
The screen will look like this because they internally both are powered using the same thing only. Both IDDs are powered using the same logic.
So Neil, are we going to have copies of MDM and this for ourselves to work with? I think
you're talking about software, like how you're going to access the tool, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we will configure it. So once I share the materials, then you can just I'll guide you like in the next session. It's not needed now. You can do it in the weekend.
Okay. All right. Are we working through the weekend? Is it 7 days a week or 6 days or 5 days?
6 days a week.
Okay, we're only not working on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So sorry, Sunil, can you give me an example? The use of IDD in IDQ.
No, I am not going to go beyond that because that's not the purpose. So if you have anything else, you can ask, because IDQ I'll not be like that's diverting from this thing.
No, I'm just curious why the two interfaces in same interfaces in both tools actually.
That is for consolidating data in IDQ, the IDD that is there. This is for consolidating data in MDM. That's simple as it is. If you want to merge, consolidate data in IDQ, you use IDDs in IDQ.
So basically it's technically both same, yeah?
Yes, technically they are the same thing. One is for MDM, one is for IDD.
Okay.
So now we're going to talk about the architecture, or we've done.
Yeah, we are done. So we are done.
Okay.
And when you showed a schema, you showed ORS. What is the ORS stands for?
We will see ORS. ORS operational reference store. That's your repository. We'll see that tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Then I think we'll finish the session tomorrow. Same day, same time, same link. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
So today, what did we cover as
sorry?
What have we covered as part of the syllabus that going through? Are we going to go through the, like we're covering 1, 2, 3, 4, some kind of structure?
Yeah, this is the structure of the session. You can have a copy of this. So this is the
No. I mean, based on the syllabus that you shared or that.
Right. This is the course content.
Yeah, based on the course content, what have we covered? That's what I mean. So we know I can tick it off and say, okay, we've done this, done that. I can go back.
Whatever
and
is
also do
there in
some.
the course content, whatever you see, 16 topics, all 16 topics will be covered.
Sunil, we don't see anything.
Okay, 1 second. Now, whatever I have shown you earlier, like this, you can see that now.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so all the 16 topics that you see here, all will be covered.
Right. So my question is, Sunil, I know it's well time spent. I'm already up past 3. Based on this, what have we covered today? You know,
Oh,
today,
what we have covered today. We are just
exactly
in the beginning part. We are trying to understand the MDM and the architecture.
okay. Now, quick one, the architecture, I didn't see any design, so I don't understand when you say we've covered the architecture.
No. Architecture, that's what we just started when I showed you the data and all that. Actual like architecture with this picture that we'll see tomorrow. This is the architecture picture. Details, direct details on the architecture will go through tomorrow. But you can understand this very easily now because you already have idea on MDM now. This is the architecture page which we'll go through tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
When are you going to share this so that we can be preparing to come to the lecture prepared?
Yeah, I'll share it. You just once I get confirmation, then I'll share the materials. You confirm like from whomever you got the link. Then I'll share the material.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sunil, one more question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you told that we can able to use that software from once we have connected to Amachi. So it is only for this duration, 1 month or for 6 months?
For 6 months.
Yeah, okay. Actually, got information like that. I just want to confirm with you.
No, because in 1 month you can't learn anything. I mean, like you can learn, but still you need to practice and there are a lot of things. You can't. 1 month is enough, but still you will need tool access in future as well. I know that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you.